Tell me a little more about you. Let's just start there and then we can dig into it.
Definitely.
Okay,
Tell us something.
so good morning everyone. I'm Shatadroo Dutta and I was born and brought up in Calcutta, and I was born to a family of second generation immigrants. My grandparents fled Bangladesh during Operation Searchlight, and this fact has keep me grounded, and helped me stay humble in my life. I did my schooling from the Heritage School, where I was very involved in extracurriculars. I was the MUN club president of my school, and I was very involved in business events and MUNs. I did my college from the University of Calcutta, and I graduated with an honors in BCom. And during my college life, I did multiple internships. I also worked as a freelance writer for the YouTuber Nitish Rajput. And after that, as soon as I graduated in 2023, I got a job at Netscribes, and I was working as a research associate in the private equity and venture capital domain. However, during the month of April, I decided that my CAT preparation had to take the front seat, so I decided to leave my job and pursue it full time. And as a person,
When did you leave your job?
Sir, I'm sorry, I could not.
When did you leave your job?
Sir, I left my job on the 9th of April.
And for how long have you worked?
Sir, around...
Not even a year, I guess, right?
No, sir. Around 6 months and 13 days, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. So, what was very fulfilling about your job? Why did you join that particular job?
Sir, I'm sorry, ma'am, I joined that job because firstly, the person who contacted me for the interview, the HR personnel, he was very welcoming. He was a great person. I felt like the company is going to have good culture because the HR himself was so nice and was so accommodating. And well, I was right, the culture of the company was pretty good. I had a very good boss who truly valued me. However, for career progression, I had to leave the job. So that's that.
No, but we get plenty of people who are working and preparing and they reach the same chair that you have. So why? It's an aptitude exam, yeah? Come on. Everything that you've studied for this is basically there in school. You're not studying in school?
Yeah.
I agree with you, sir. However, I was always a weak student and I didn't want to take that chance.
Always, including in the graduation. You seem to have decent GPAs, no?
Sir, during the schooling years.
So what made you a better student in college as compared to the school?
Sir, just effort in and of itself. During school, let's just say I was a very distracted student. I was more interested in co-curriculars. I did not take my academics seriously. But then when I got into college, I realized that I'm sidelining all the opportunities that are being given to me. So I decided to get slightly more serious, actually marginally more serious. That's why I could get decent grades in college. However, I achieved my full seriousness after college when I sat for the CAT exam.
So you said that you come from a family of second generation immigrants and that's keeping you humble. How? I mean, see, I'm a Punjabi. And a lot of Punjabis have moved from the other Punjab.
Yes, sir.
And they've settled here and we are known to be anything but humble.
Yes, sir.
So why would that make you humble? Yeah? What's the connection there?
There's a bit of a fun story here. So my father was, let's just say, born to nothing. My grandparents, they had 4 children and barely had any money to educate them or get them anywhere. My father built himself up. My father, he opened a business. I was literally born in $1 million house, and well, that's why I try my best to not take my privilege for granted and not to rub it off in anyone's face, and I want to somehow do good in the world later.
No, but then again, a lot of people in that similar situation are not humble. So
That's true, sir. So I believe I just want to be a little bit different in the long run than those aforementioned people.
So, your father has a business, so why not join the family business? Why go for an MBA?
Because, ma'am, my inclinations are a little bit different. Our business is of real estate and it is based in Kolkata and West Bengal itself. However, I want to do something which impacts the rest of the country a little bit more, and something that is not kind of related to the West Bengal real estate scene. Because I believe that business is not large enough to impact enough lives, and that business does not really contribute as much to society as I would like to do in the future.
So how do you plan to do an MBA and impact lives? Yeah, it's not necessary to do an MBA to impact people's lives.
I agree, ma'am. But
a home is one of those basic requirements of people
Yeah.
around, and it contributes so much to the economy through the
It's not just
constructions.
West Bengal, entire country.
So
in
you can
fact, people
expand.
abroad as
Definitely,
You
well.
can scale up.
I completely agree, but the real estate market in India, let's just say it's unforgiving. The prices are extremely high, and well, let's just say the common folks, they aren't exactly the ones who are hiring us to build their homes.
But that's the direction that you can then move towards. So what do you think? What is
Bring a
making
solution to that problem.
What's making the real estate expensive?
Sir, the answer is going to sound a little crude, however, it is corruption.
Can you elaborate?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I speak in terms of my state? In terms of my state, if you want to get a home, firstly, if you want to buy a home, you have to pay your dues in cash to someone, and that cash component is going to be large. The person who is building the homes, most developers, they require certain quid pro quo privileges to build those homes, so they have paid money, so they have to recover it somehow. That's why they charge back the customers for it. In fact, I think I saw this piece of research. I'm not completely sure. However, it stated that when we compare per capita income and home prices, and we make an index out of it, India is at the top of the world.
We are one of the worst. So
Yeah,
that's a huge problem for you to solve.
Definitely, sir.
So what do you think? What is the solution for this?
Sir, the solution for this is the government and big private players, they have to come together and they have to create subsidized housing in the future. India has a lot of free land to do
But
that.
then if the problem is corruption, then you'd fix the corruption. No?
Yeah.
Sir, I believe that is easier said than done, and doing that from the private sector is, let's just say, extremely difficult.
Do it from public sector. Become a politician.
Sir, well, I like the idea and I agree with what you're saying. However, in India, if you want to be a politician, it's more about how respected you are in the party and how rich you are to actually make an impact. Because let's be honest, politicians at the lower level, the mayors, the district level politicians, the MLAs, they have no real power, and all they want to do is make money during their tenure. If I want to make a difference, I have to be Amit Shah, which is much easier said than done.
And that's exactly where he started, Amit Shah.
Yeah. He also started from the roots. Modi
Yes,
ji
sir.
started from a chai stall, getting sweeping the BJP floors.
Definitely.
Office
definitely,
floors, yeah.
ma'am. I agree. Maybe something in the future to consider.
He did not even win an election before becoming the Gujarat CM.
Yes,
So
sir.
he was just part of the cadre.
However, sir, he was very much involved with the Sangh
Yes, he was
Parivar
part of the
from the
cadre,
village.
absolutely.
Yes,
Sangh
sir.
cadre, yes. So he was helping people, so you can follow that route.
Yes, sir. Maybe in the future.
It's too daunting for you. So what is the alternate now? Which area do you plan to get into?
Sir, someday in the future, like the distant future, I want to have a private equity and venture capital fund of my own. I actually want to be a different private equity capitalist. Like, I'm not going to just acquire companies and lay people off. I'm not just going to acquire companies and sell off their real estate. I'm not going to buy homes.
So
in
why
random
private
markets.
equity?
Sir, because I believe it is a way in which I can actually make an impact, kind of impact that I want, using money from myself and other wealthy individuals.
So it so happens that we are sitting at Physics Wallah School of Startup. You've heard of it?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't think I'm acquainted.
Any other VC that you admire?
Sir, VC? Sir,
Have you seen Shark Tank?
yes, ma'am.
So you know about VCs.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, I really admire Sequoia Capital because they actually support businesses on a lower level, and they are also kind of involved with sustainability a lot. There's also Y Combinator. Y Combinator, I wouldn't exactly call it a VC, but they have a venture arm. They also are a school of startups, and they are doing really good work. In fact, Ritesh Agarwal, I think he got his
He came
first
from
big
this.
break at Y Combinator.
Combinator.
That's something to admire.
So why don't we have something similar in India? What is stopping us?
Because, sir, India is firstly completely dominated by foreign venture capital funds and foreign private equity capitalists. Even Indian companies that are truly entering into the private equity space, for example, Manipal Signa, in my city especially, Manipal Signa has done leaps and bounds. They've acquired all the big hospitals. Manipal Signa is not even a healthcare company at this point, it is a private equity company. However, they are more inclined towards making profits off of the healthcare sector than actually making a difference. However, in the future, they might just open a venture arm and change that. I think this does not happen in India is because, sir, a very small chunk of the Indian population is actually capable of creating a useful startup. In America, that number is much higher because the per capita income is higher. They have free education, at least at the schooling level. In India, that's just not a possibility.
No,
why-
that's a skill gap or the fund gap.
Sir, I think it's the privilege gap. However, I might be wrong.
So privilege gap is basically another way of saying it's a skill gap,
Skill
no?
gap. Yeah.
Or is it a fund gap?
Sir, arising from the privilege, the skill gap.
So if the gap is coming from skills, you should move towards skilling instead of
Yeah.
funding if that's not the core problem.
Sir, that is, I completely agree with you, and I want to do that, but I believe I'd require funds to do that.
So profits again, no?
Not just profits, sir, money to invest. Like,
So if you're not
Eventually,
profitable,
yeah.
eventually you run out of money. I
That
mean,
is true,
once
sir.
Correct.
I think we should make this guy
Think
VC
about-
and launch
yeah.
our own fund. It'll be good for us.
I would look up to
So
it, sir.
how hypothetically, if you were to invest in a startup, what are some of the key things that you'd look for?
Sir, firstly, a good management with a good track record in the
So
past.
can we avoid using good so that
Yeah.
that's very subjective
I
umbrella
understand.
term. So
Sir,
when you say good,
Sir, founders who do not have a history of unethical practices, no
Okay,
bans from
that's
SEBI,
better.
no letters from the RBI. They don't have a history of pumping up startups and then selling their assets. They do not have any criminal records. I would look for that firstly, and secondly, I would look at the vision of the company and what they are truly striving for. For example, renewable energy companies, they truly they truly strike a bullet in me because it is very important, and in the future if more companies do not invest in renewable energy, let's just say the future generations are doomed. India also has a large research gap. Research is not appreciated in India. PhD students, they do not get enough funding. So I would really like companies that are actually investing a lot in R&D and not just serving their masters abroad. So that is one thing I would like to look for as well.
So do you have a plan in mind? You've spoken about R&D, research, renewable energy. What is your plan?
Ma'am, I have a very vague plan in mind because these are all projections for the future. So, firstly, I want to get into an MBA college. I want to do well in college. Then I want to get a job in consulting, learn the business, eventually break into private equity, make the connections, understand the market, and then when I'm credible enough, when I'm actually capable enough of doing what I want to do, I want to venture out and open my own fund with my own limited partners and be the managing partner of the firm.
so what are those exact things that you plan to learn from your MBA that will help you?
So, firstly, I want to become capable. The whole case study system, applying yourself in class, learning from the best professors of the country. I believe some professors at IIMs were earlier at ISRO. In fact, the CAT convener this year, she is an ISRO scientist. So, I would get to learn from these great people, which would hone my skills. I would also learn the art of marketing myself, and I would get to network with great people in the room. And I think all of these things, they will firstly show me my place in the world and also help me get better and improve myself.
Can you name some 3 subjects that you'll study at the college?
Sir, I studied economics.
Okay, that you will study during your
college.
MBA.
In college, yeah.
Sir, I would like to study financial modeling. I would like to study financial management. And if my college offers a course in economics, I would also like to take that.
No, it's
Even though
going
I'm
to be
not
part of the
interested.
first semester. Yeah, managerial economics
Yeah.
is taught everywhere. So
I understand, sir.
So you want to specialize in finance.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any work? You have a 6 months work
6
ex.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us something about your job role over there, your profile in your last job.
Yes, ma'am. So my job was to analyze data regarding private equity and venture capital transactions and understand the rationale behind them and the history, because usually when a company has been bounced around a lot between private equity firms, it is almost impossible for the naked eye or for the status quo to understand how it has actually happened. So that was our job, to analyze and create reports that could be easily understood about the history of the country, also create a management profile, write about the basic business of the company. It was a back-end job, nothing too fancy, but yeah, this was my
How
job.
do you think you contributed in these 6 months to the company?
Ma'am, I have a statistic which I don't know if I should state, but I will anyway. So our manager was really upfront with us about all of this, and an average employee in our team generates about 20 lakhs in revenue in a year. So I think I generated half of that. I would say 10. And I was, from my first days, I was very ambitious. Let's just say I was extremely eager. And within the first 5 days, my manager actually started assigning me good work. She even allowed me to help her train the new people for the first 4 days because she had just trained me 4 days ago and she thought I would be a good addition to the training team.
By then, she'd not probably seen your significant underperformance, no?
I
Just 4 days after the training. So.
could be true, sir. She did not pay heed to my 10-12 marks, so she wasn't aware.
So anything that you're following, anything in news that you follow nowadays?
Yes, sir. Sir, I like to follow international politics closely, and I think Bashar al-Assad's regime just fell.
That's one traumatic thing. So why is it that right-wing parties are rising in a lot of different places?
Yes, sir. So, firstly, there's a major problem in the West regarding immigration. So, since the Arab Spring arose, a lot of migrants have been leaving their countries in the Middle East and venturing into Europe, some even into the United States. And let's just say Middle East and Europe are very different places. And an impoverished immigrant from the Middle East, he or she doesn't exactly sit well in Europe. So crime rates are rising, immigrants are causing havoc, they are not being able to follow the societal, cultural norms of those places. And that is why people are rising up, people are developing these anti-immigrant statuses in their head. And that is why they are more in support of right-wing parties, because the biggest argument of the right-wing parties in Europe and America is we will stop immigration. And a lot of
But
nations,
is it actually true that immigrants are causing all these problems? Does that reflect in the
Yeah.
stats?
sir, that is a very controversial question, and
No, I'm just asking about facts. If you've read
Yeah.
them somewhere.
it actually does, sir. However, some countries have tackled it very well. Sweden and Norway, they have education programs for immigrants so they can gel well with the status quo of the population.
So you spoke about Bashar. Are you aware of the poisoning that happened?
Poisoning?
Bashar was poisoned.
Oh,
When he
in
went to Russia,
Yeah,
there was this
yeah.
thing.
I think I read about it, ma'am, but I don't think I went into the details. I apologize for not knowing that.
No problem.
So just one last question from me here. Why should you be selected?
Sir, I bring a very diverse skill set to an MBA college because I have done a lot of different things in life. In my school days, I was involved in MUNs and business events. I have work experience in marketing. I also understand
In
a few
school,
businesses.
experience in marketing.
No. So, I'm sorry. In college, I have a bit of experience in marketing. I have
You did an
also-
internship in digital marketing somewhere.
Yes. Sir. I have also written and researched for one of the biggest YouTubers in India, Nitish Rajput, and along with that, I have also been a freelance model. So I think I bring a lot of diversity to the platter, and I bring a lot of experiences which could maybe be useful to the college if I put them in the right place.
Yeah, a lot of your experience is such that it can be replaced by ChatGPT, or 70% of it.
Sir, I would have to respectfully disagree with this, maybe a little bit.
So how are you better
Yeah.
than?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, during my internships, I did not just write content, which ChatGPT does. I also helped the founders of the companies pitch to new companies, understand businesses. Sir, I would like to give an example, bit of a long story. In November 2020, I started working with my sister. I quit my previous digital marketing internship. I started working with my sister because she had founded her own company. And our first client was this company called 𝐁𝐀𝐄𝐄 Tea. So they are a huge tea retailer in West Bengal and Assam. They have massive tea gardens, hectares and hectares of tea gardens. But they had a major problem. Their tea business was doing very well. Their resorts business was not doing well. They have 2 resorts in Darjeeling. None were doing well. And they really believed in my sister's company. So we both went to Darjeeling, and it was our job to figure out why is it not doing well? What can we do to improve it? And when we were there, within the first week, we realized the problem, my sister and I. We figured out that they were not horizontally integrating their businesses. They have a resort, and they have tea factories. Tea factories are fascinating places. Tea gardens are beautiful. There's the whole experience with tea tasting. Darjeeling tea even has a geographical tag to it. They were not using these things, and that's what we did. We told them to create tour packages where the potential guests, they could visit the tea gardens, they could visit the tea factories, they could indulge in tea tasting, even get a certificate, buy teas. and it worked like magic. Their sales and their numbers at both of their
But
resorts.
their
seemed to be
competitors
leading
were
to
already doing it in
Yeah.
Darjeeling. So why
So
would
why
this
did they not
change?
correlate or open
Actually,
their
increase the
sir,
business?
they weren't exactly doing it because in Darjeeling, there are either very good tea companies or there are either very good resort companies. There is only one competitor, that would be Goodrick Teapot, and let's just say Goodrick is too commercialized. And the experience Goodrick provides, that is not even what people are looking for. And it was actually, sir, now that I look at it in hindsight, it was there all on the table. People just couldn't see it.
Anything that you want to ask?
I think I'm done, but just to understand, you wrote for Nitish Rajput.
Yes, and I researched for them now.
Who's Nitish Rajput?
He's a YouTuber, and
Yes.
tell me more about it. I would like to understand what exactly were you
Which
doing.
and which videos did you
Sir,
work with him?
may I help you?
No, that's okay.
Sir, I wrote a lot of content for his Shorts channel,
Okay.
and there's a video, and there are a few videos he made. There's one on the Punjab Soba movement. I worked very closely with it. So, Nitish, I'm telling you how this whole thing happened. So, I used to watch Nitish since 2019. I was a close fan. So, one day in the YouTube community tab, he wrote a post. I need writers and researchers. If you could write 60 words on a topic of your choice and email it to me, I could
Okay.
select you. I wrote that, didn't think anything of it.
What was the topic?
I chose my own topic, ma'am.
What was it?
I chose the topic of cryptocurrency scams.
Okay.
They were very big back then.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, I get an email from Nitish. He gives me a phone number of his manager. I call him, and then let's just say I get selected, and I work very closely with the team. In fact, you could say that I was one of the 3 people who were working very hard on the Nitish Rajput Shorts channel that was founded then. And eventually, Nitish sir even asked me to work on his main videos for his main channel, and I did that as well. However, after that, what happened was that my 4th and 5th sem in college was starting, and Calcutta University has this thing. The first 3 semesters, they're manageable. The next 3 semesters are extremely difficult, and let's just say people end up flunking those semesters because they're so difficult. So I had to quit the gig and focus more on my studies.
So, what are your thoughts on crypto since you've written about it?
Ma'am, crypto can be a revolutionary product, especially in the field of freedom. I mean, if someone does not want everyone else to know where they are spending their money, how much they are holding in assets, crypto can be a great thing. However, for the greedy, crypto isn't exactly a good thing because the greedy, they lose all their money in crypto because there are smart people who are exploiting their greed.
No, but how do you think it's safe enough? How do you think it's practical for the common public?
Ma'am, it is, I wouldn't say it's practical for the common public. It is only practical for the educated and tech savvy public because managing a crypto wallet and sending money to a crypto wallet is also such a jarring task because crypto wallets have 14-digit long numbers. You get one letter wrong, you'll never get your money back. So it is only for the tech savvy public.
Do you know about a case that happened in UK wherein a guy stored all his crypto money in a hard disk and the girlfriend threw it away? Are you aware of that? He lost millions of dollars.
Ma'am, I'm not sure. I believe I have read it. She threw it into a river. I may be wrong. I think I have read it. Yes, ma'am.
So, isn't it practically there should be a solution to it? So much of money going into down the river.
Actually, ma'am, as of now, there's a solution to it. I believe this person whose hard drive was thrown into the river, he was an early crypto adopter. Back in the day, crypto wallets, let's just say they were not digital, so people used to store crypto, they used to mine them and store them in their hard drives. And this person, he never made the effort to create an actual wallet with Binance or some big company and store his crypto there. He just kept it in the hard drive out of an archaic love for the technology, I
So,
think.
since you're planning to do financial MBA,
Yes, ma'am.
how do you want to correlate? Do you want to get into crypto as well along with that?
Ma'am, there's a bit of a story behind this. So during my job, I had to look at a lot of crypto venture capitalists in my first 3 months itself. And what I saw wasn't really promising. So unless the whole crypto scene improves substantially, I think I would stay away from it as an institution. However, personally, I'm very involved with crypto.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Which is illegal in India, huh? Chaliye, okay. Thanks a lot, Shatadroo.
Thank you so much, sir.
Please wait outside.
Thank
We'll
you
call
so
you
much,
back.
ma'am.
Thank you.